Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we need a quick video. We need to recap some stuff that I just happened to miss. Over the last 2 days, I've been moving a crap ton of stuff, literally everything I own, basically, into a new apartment. Very excited about it. It's going to be a much better space than the space I used to live in, at least, emotionally. So very excited for that, and hopefully that allows me to get back on track with what I've been wanting to do with the channel. But for today, we need to talk about some new cards that got revealed while I was gone, while I couldn't use my Wi-Fi. Though that includes 2 Momento cards, and we're going to talk about the Valmonica cards in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Let's get into it, though. I don't want to waste too much time here, but this is Momento Twin Dragon. That's this guy here. He's obviously designed after Twin Thunder Dragon, the vanilla fusion monster from way long ago, one of the earliest fusion monsters to ever get released. Really cool to see. This monster has always been the ugliest thing I've ever seen. This thing at least is like ugly on purpose. Like it's like cool ugly, not just like straight up ugly like the other one. Looks like a freaking pepper dragon, not in a cool way. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about what we have going on here. This is Momento Twin Dragon. This is a level 7 Light Thunder Fusion. 2800 attack, 2100 defense. I did not expect Fusion to be the route they went with this deck, but I'm not mad about it because I think the cards are good. This card takes any 2 mementos, so, it isn't generic. It is in archetype, but that's not the craziest thing in the world. Still pretty easy, just 2 materials. First effect, if this card is fusion summoned, you can destroy 1 memento monster in your hand or field, and if you do, add up to 2 monsters with different names from each other from your deck to your hand. What I love about this is that it can destroy itself, so you don't even have to fill the requirement of like having another monster somewhere. It can just pop itself, and I believe that triggers its last effect anyway. Second effect, monsters destroyed by battle with your memento monsters are banished. That's just icing on the cake, honestly. It just makes going battle phase way more potent. So many decks float nowadays on like destruction, but being able to banish them actually helps quite significantly. Stuff like Fire King, stuff like Unchained. Sorry, just trying to rack my brain there. That's pretty cool. That's icing on the cake, though. That's just the bonus effect. And the last effect, if this fusion summon card is destroyed, like with its first effect, you can special summon 1 level 6 or lower memento monster from your graveyard. So whatever you use to make it, you're able to just get that back automatically. And level 6 or lower is almost everything except for the big guy. And I think there's a level 7 dragon as well. But I think that includes every other monster in the archetype, which is not too shabby at all. So I think it's great. This card, this is a phenomenal fusion, right? This card is a +2 because it searches 2 on summon but pops itself. So you lose itself. So you're trading 2 for 1. So you're only going +1 there. But when you destroy it, it's going to reborn one of the other materials. So it's just a +2, and it has the bonus of giving you this. And I believe the archetype has multiple ways to like reborn this. It's not going to trigger this effect anymore. But getting this back for like a 2800 body that banishes stuff when stuff is destroyed by battle, or if it's destroyed again, which the archetype does a bunch, you're able to keep floating and keep extending. I think there's still really good value in that. So to me, this card is actually really good. I know fusion isn't the most optimal like extra deck focal point for your deck to be built around, but I think the way they did it is pretty good. The other thing we need to consider is the fusion spell, because if the fusion spell is not good enough, then this card may not even be worth making, so we'll have to see. Kind of reminds me of like B Trooper, an archetype that isn't already known for being a fusion deck, but the fusion monster is so good and it pluses so well that like maybe it's still just worth it to play the card regardless. Play a little fusion package. All right, and then here we have Nether Corpse Fusion, or Memento Fusion, or Mementotlin Fusion. It's a quick play spell. You can only use both of its effects once per turn. The first effect says, during the main phase, fusion summon. This is a quick play, which is really nice. That's really good for fusions. Fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, including a memento. Very basic fusion. I want to see fusions that banish from grave, send from deck, whatever, that give us more cheap fusion summons, but let's keep going. If a monster or monsters in your possession was destroyed by card effect this turn, ever, you can also use memento monsters in your graveyard as material by shuffling them into the deck. That is so much better. Now, the one thing this does do is that this does not guarantee that there's going to be a low-level memento in grave for your dragon to reborn if it pops itself. But I still think being able to pop himself and search 2, even if he doesn't trigger his other effect, is still enough plus. Plus, this makes for a much more efficient fusion summon, right? The deck pops like almost every like simple line you're doing in the deck, you're destroying one of your monsters because they all have effects when they're destroyed by card effect. So that's not a problem. And they go back into the deck, which I think is even easier to get access to again than Banish. So we'll take it. And the other thing is that you have to keep in mind there is some trade-off here. Putting monsters back into the deck means there's going to be less monsters in grave to potentially make it so that your dragon has enough names in grave, which is another reason why this card helps, is being able to go into a generic extra deck monster that, not generic, but easy to make extra deck monster that then also counts as another name in grave for the big dragon to be summoned, because he's really your win condition. It's really solid. And lastly, during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to destroy a monster you control, and if you do, add a Memento, spell, or trap from your deck to your hand. That's just icing on the cake. That's like an insane search effect, honestly, because you can use both effects in the same turn. That means even just being able to like pitch this from hand, even if you don't have the wherewithal to make the fusion, just being able to get this in grave and then be able to just like actually search like Bone Party or one of like the other really good spells or traps in the deck has value on itself. On top of just, if you are able to do the fusion summon, then just later you're able to stack on an extra search. This is insane. Just the fact that this is just from grave, it doesn't even need any requirement other than a monster on field. It's really, really good. So all in all, I think both cards are really good. The question is, does it mesh cleanly enough? That's really what it's going to come down to. In a vacuum, these cards plus like crazy. I like that a lot. Does it add enough win condition? I'm not sure. It feels like the deck needs a secondary win condition aside from the big main deck zombie guy with the trap. It feels like they need a secondary win condition. Now this helps them push their engine better and get it and plus harder, but I'm not sure it gives them an alternate win condition by themselves. To me, if they're going to go fusion, maybe give them one more really good fusion monster that's actually an interruption and gives you like another line or another route to go if your opponent is aware that your game plan is summon the big zombie guy, and you can kind of wiggle around that and make something happen in another way. So all in all, great cards, honestly. Are they enough? I don't know. This is a super graveyard-centric deck. There's a lot of graveyard hate cards in the game right now. But I think this helps the deck, and I think this probably at least makes the deck playable now. I didn't think it was really that playable before. I think you can probably play it and actually like have some success, at least on a local level. And who knows, maybe somebody will throw in the spice and actually make this regional level. We'll see. But it's a good direction from Momento. I'm happy to see it because I like this archetype. I think it's really cool. Hopefully Konami gives us one more little wave here, and and just gives them the last little kick in the ass they need to get them up into playability. So those are my thoughts here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Let me know your thoughts down below on these two new cards. If you're a big fan of this deck, you've already been testing it. I haven't tested it. I've just kind of been thinking theory-wise with it. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you're a little more well-versed with the deck on how good you think it is with the new cards, different things you might want to try because of these new cards. I'd love to hear that down below. But I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Stay tuned for more. Subscribe to the channel because I got news videos coming out the ass whenever they drop news at any point. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.